There's nothing like the smell of hops. Funny, isn't it, how something so little can bring back such memories. I'm Ruby, and I used to come down from London every year for the hop picking. The first thing I see is the letter. Every year in September, when the hops were ready, the farmer used to send us our train tickets and our up number. Oh, it was so exciting when that letter came. Once everybody had had a good look at it, it was put safely behind the clock on the mantelpiece, out the way of fiddling fingers. Early in the morning, we'd leave for London Bridge, pushing a cart stacked high with our hopping box, chairs, bedding, pots, pans, kettles. All the older kids would be carrying bundles and dragging their younger brothers and sisters along after them. It wasn't long before our strange procession was joined by another and then another, until the streets were full of the cries of, "Stop your hollering, don't fuss, come on, are we going to miss the train?" And when we got to London Bridge, all the younger kids were all smuggled onto the train. One family I know used to carry them on and off in sacks. I used to love sitting on that train and watching the Soot Street buildings give way to the fields and up gardens of Kent. The kids would always fight to be near the window. Desperate important it was to be the one who saw the first cow or the first oast. Once these had been safely spotted, they'd count down the station until ours, and they'd announce this with a racket loud enough to be heard on the old Bow Road. We used to go to the same farm every year, same art too. Hopping took place right across the Weald, the right kind of earth and plenty of sweet chestnut for the hop poles and charcoal. This was well known as one of the better farms, one of the first to build proper huts for us to live in. The farmer, he knows our family well, knows we'll do a good job and can be trusted, not like some of those that come down, giving the rest of us a bad name. Once at the farm, the farmer would give us faggots and straw for our bedding, and we'd busy ourselves making the hut into a home for the next few weeks. I think the most we ever had in our hut was 8, but some families had more. Believe me, after a night in here, you're ever so glad to get out into the fresh country air. Not that we were ever allowed to complain when my nan, God love her, was with us. If any one of us created about the fleas and beetles in the bedding, she'd start on about how she used to have to sleep out in the fields in a shelter made of old sheep hurdles and an old blanket. Then me mam would chip in, tell us how lucky we was and how when she was little, we used to joke that the next changes would be feather mattresses and private bathrooms. We never guessed that the next changes would mean the end of hopping as we knew it. Mechanical picking machines and cheap hops from abroad meant there wasn't the September demand for the hoppers. Also, with wages going up and holidays getting cheaper, 4 weeks cramped together in an hut just lost its appeal. The hop gardens with their oasts were as permanent a part of the landscape as the hills and streams. Just shows you can't take nothing for granted. It's like the great working horses. Back when I was little, you could never imagine them disappearing from the farms. Take a look around you now. I wonder if you'll be better than me at looking into the future and spotting the changes. Mind you, I can't believe that anyone who ever came hopping would have thought that the oasts had become luxury housing, even after a Saturday evening at the pub. Look hard, because one day, like me, you might have just memories and days like this to remind you of what it was once like. Memory's a funny thing. You always seem to remember the good rather than the bad. Like in all those arrival days, I don't ever remember it raining, but it must have. The good was definitely the fresh air and the songs and stories that we used to tell around the hopping bins and the cooking fires. Oh, and the laughs, especially at the weekend when the men used to come down. And of course, the money. The bad for me, fleas and beetles in the bedding aside, was how some of the local folk used to make us feel. Strangers, they called us, but we came round every year. They were glad of our labour, but not our company. The local pub used to have 2 separate bars. Our side was emptied of everything. We used to have to sit on barrels and pay a deposit for our glasses and jugs. I didn't mind that so much, though, because, well, sometimes at closing time it did get a bit rowdy. But what really got me going was the local shopkeeper. He had a grill that he put up at opping time with all the goods stacked behind it as if we were a lot of common thieves. We tried to buy our extra provisions from the farm or from the traders that used to come round the huts. That way we didn't have to wait until payday because we could pay with our opping tokens. But there was no way that I was going to give that shopkeeper a penny more of me honest money than I had to. I'm sure there are those that ain't as honest as they should be, but there's no reason to brand us all the same. My old mum used to tell me not to fret, just to fear of strangers, she said. It's the same all over. In the hop garden, the farmer used to separate us from the local pickers. It was a shame, really, because if they'd talked to us, they'd have known we were just the same as them, earning an honest bit of money to keep our families together. We were all the same, you know. Us Londoners, the locals and the travellers. They were here providing the much needed labour as well. We all had families, we all had bills to pay, and we were all hoppers with fingers stained black from the sulphur they used to spray the hops with. The countryside still needs its seasonal workers, and people from the town still like to visit. Looking about today, it looks as if there might be another change. Hope it's the same everywhere. There just seems to be less of the us and them and us. Less suspicion of strangers. We're all working together to help protect what we all care about and making sure that the things that do become memories are looked after so people don't forget.